Hey, what's going on YouTube? Another video for you guys as usual. So I haven't made any videos on this channel lately. It's been like a year, I think a year precisely, and I want to talk to you guys about pretty much my AIT experience in the United States military. Okay, so I went to Fort Benning, Georgia, basic combat training. Right after I went to Fort Gordon, Georgia. It's like a 4-hour drive, explain and touch up on things. So if you guys don't know, my MOS at the time when I was in the military was a 25 uniform, which is a signal support system specialist. 25 uniform pretty much deals with communications, mostly on radios, like a lot of old equipment from the military, some of them are new. You're pretty much dealing with not just that itself, but you're also dealing with a bunch of other radio equipment. You can learn stuff from the 25 Bravos, you can learn stuff from 25 Sierras, 25 Quebecs, 25 Novembers, 25 Charlies. You're pretty much learning everyone's job in a sense, because the 25 uniform, the U meaning universal, you pretty much learn every single aspect of the 25 series in a sense, from what I noticed when I was going through AIT, and then I got into the real army, and then I realized, yeah, we're learning like pretty much everything. And it's not just pertaining to what we do, but it's a bunch of other stuff as well. My AIT experience was roughly 13 and a half weeks. Normally, it's supposed to be 16 to 18 weeks of training for learning your MOS, but I got fast-tracked with my class, so instead of the 16-18 weeks course, I got out with 13 and a half weeks of training for my MOS at that base. Pretty much AIT is just, I would say it was very chill for me. I have footage of AIT in my YouTube channel, Legendary Video Vlogs. So if you guys want to check that out, there's footage of that there. But I really didn't touch up on what we went through. There's like a couple building things you go through in AIT. So what happens in AIT pretty much, it's called Advanced Individual Training, pretty much just learning about your MOS. I remember after basic combat training, we graduated, we were wearing our dress blues, and we were just sitting on our duffel bags. I had 2 duffel bags. I had a personal backpack and a carry-on bag at the time. So in AIT, I remember just leaving. It was a 4-hour bus ride, and I remember just arriving, and it was raining. It sucked because all our gear was wet. Just placed all our gear inside of like I don't remember what it was, but it was an office. I think it was the battalion staff duty. You leave your stuff there, you have your papers with you, and you're pretty much in a really, really long line waiting to get word from a sergeant to tell you where to go or where you're going. So for me, I was put in Echo Company. However, I got changed because I went to Echo Company, and later found out that I'm going to be moved to Delta Company. So that's like the motto. Every single company, there's Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Echo. I don't know about now. I think a lot of things change in AIT, but there's other MOSs learning their own MOS, or people that are from the real army that switched MOSs from like infantry to 25 uniform or something else. You get there, you're assigned bunkmates. So for me, I had a room that was filled with 3 people in total. So, well, me being the third one included. So it's pretty much me and my 2 roommates. So most of the barracks inside of AIT, most of them are 3-man bedrooms. But some of them are 2-man rooms, which is perfectly fine. But like, you don't really have that much privacy because you are sharing it with 2 other people or 1 other person. Make sure your time wisely in AIT. The normal, you don't get fire guard duty. There's no fire guard. There's only CQ duty. So it's like pretty much a couple hour shifts or 12 hours or so. It really depends because you still have classes to do. So, oh yeah, for classes, different types, there's like 3 buildings, I think 3 buildings. So the first one, it was Dixon. And let me remind you, like, majority of what you learn in Dixon building, it's pretty much useless information in a sense, from what I remember, because I remember writing every single thing down. You're gonna pretty much write everything down, literally everything. So take note of that, because it's gonna be on the test upcoming, because it's gonna be open notes, open book for most parts of your transition from each building. It's like after Dixon building, there's Burkhart, and Burkhart you actually have to study for, because and you have to learn the hands-on the job part, because I mean it's your job. Just remember that, because I'm really slow at learning things when I was in, so it's kind of like a difficult grasp for me. It's hard for me to grasp it myself. It took me a while. Like I remember I almost like failed like 3 times, 2 times. It was really like embarrassing. I go through a lot of different things to learn in AIT. I guarantee you that you're gonna have like a book. My book right now is like 36 pages full. Some like really small handwriting is all full of notes. So yeah, it's a lot. Every notebook I would recommend like a 5-star subject notebook, and black ink, no blue, no red, just black. In AIT, you're with platoon pretty much, so you have one platoon sergeant, and you have like usually roughly, I'd say 20 to 30 or 40 people in your platoon. You line up by 4s when you do formations. Just to let you guys know that. I'm going to talk about the whole phase badge process later on. You also get phase badges in AIT, so I'm going to explain this in a different video. But I just wanted to touch base on the whole AIT experience. After Dixon, you go to Burkhart, you learn stuff there, and then you pretty much finish that, and then you do SIB. So it's like on the field, hands-on training. So weekends, oh yeah, I forgot about that too. Time schedule for classes, Monday through Friday. It depends really on your company, because some companies do it differently. But for Delta 369, from what I went through, we're pretty much twilight shift, or no, day shifts. So you wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, you do PT, you come back to your barracks at roughly 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, shower, shave, then you get ready for formation at 12, I believe, from what I ran through. And then you do another formation at 1500. Later on, I don't know how it changed, but it changed a lot. It was 10, 12, 14, then 15:30. So I think it was 1500, I don't remember. It'll just be pretty much forming up outside at 1500 or 15:30, and then you leave to go to class. Actually, no, you don't even go to class. You go to chow for like an hour and a half or 2 hours. You march to chow, eat there, and then you pretty much go to school, the building itself, at 1700. You learn, and then you get out at like, I think 11 o'clock p.m. to the latest 1 o'clock in the morning. Actually, no, like I would say like 12:30 in the morning at most, from what I remember. So that's pretty much from the Dixon part. You get back to your barracks at like 11 o'clock, 11:30. For Burkhart, it's longer, because you have to wait for the people at Dixon to go back to the barracks first before they come get you, because you have to have a sergeant to come and get you. You can't just walk to your freaking barracks and just like be like all dandy and shit with it. Nah, you can't do that. You have to wait. So even though you know where it is, your platoon sergeant has to come get you, or the sergeant on CQ has to go and come and get your whole class, and then they have to march you back to class, back to the barracks. And then the good thing too, if you are hungry, they march you to chow actually first, like in the morning, because it starts at like 12 o'clock, I think. So in the morning, you can eat chow, but I don't recommend it. Just don't eat. Just save it for tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening or whatever, because you can actually take a break. But after like you come back from your barrack in the morning, like after PT, you can just wait till like 11:30, because that's when chow usually starts, because there's different times for chow to start for the DFACs. I remember, I think it was like 6:30 to 9, 11:30 to 1300, and then 15:30 to 7 p.m. I think, or 8 p.m. I don't remember that part. But they march you to chow anyway. I recommend just don't eat it. Don't eat during the midnight. Just don't eat. But if you are really hungry, just go for it, because you're paying for it anyway, so you might as well eat it. Once you hit SIB, after Dixon and Burkhart, you hit SIB, you're pretty much doing a morning shift. So you wake up at like 6 o'clock, and well, you don't really do PT actually. You just wake up. I think you skip PT the most. I think you really do skip PT. So you skip PT and you go straight to the bus, and then you get bused to the SIB area, where you're pretty much learning more in depth with the whole MOS. So you're pretty much learning Monday through Friday. Saturday, Sunday is pretty much your chill days. However, if you have duty, then you might get screwed over, but that's pretty much what happens when you're in the military. So after SIB, you should be graduating with your class. After that, depending on the month, you can take leave or you can just head straight to your unit. Some people didn't. They just went straight to their unit, and that's perfectly fine. But for me, I recommend you just save your leave days. But if you really want to, you can use them. Go to see your mom and dad or your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever the case. I also forgot to mention, but when you're in AIT, try your best to not fail any of the tests that you do or the quizzes, because it does count and you can get class back to like a different class, like way back. So we had this one girl in my platoon, and she got class back like I think 3 or 4 times. He was ending up in our platoon with another person, but I forgot who the other person was. I remember it was a girl. So she got class back, and then she had to retake all the classes. But yeah, try your best not to fail, because I remember I almost did fail like a couple times, like 2 times. And the sergeant in first class was at Burkhardt building. He actually let me go. He actually allowed me to pass without, like, it was super close, because I remember I retried the test like 2-3 times, and the sergeant that was doing the whole testing portion, like the whole marking, grading, she was just like, I would just fail you. But like, she called the sergeant first class and asked him, and he actually told her to pass me. So I really thank you, sergeant first class. I forgot who it was, because I have somewhat of like a vague, iffy memory with it. Because of that, I was able to graduate. If any of you guys are wondering, guys, girls watching this video on my YouTube channel, if you're wondering why are you still in civilian clothes, like shouldn't you be in like what do you call it, CQ or whatever the fuck. So I got discharged of the military as of July 7th, 2017. I will talk about it in a different video, but I just wanted to push this out there for you guys and girls to see. I just want to give my advice for people that are actually going to be enlisting in the military, because I want to give my feedback with it, because I do show in my other videos like the good with the military, but there are things about the military that it's just, it depends really if it's really for you. And for me it wasn't, so I accept that whole, well, it didn't work out and it's just how it is. I want to talk about things because I just feel like it's good to talk about it and just give people insight on what really happens, and like outweigh the good and bad and stuff just overall. But I mean, it's all good. It's pretty much all good. Still got my DD-214 to tuck away, so I'll make another video for the whole phase up process and stuff for it if you want to talk about the whole phase badges. So yeah, you should be graduating with your class. Hopefully you don't get class back. Just follow orders. Try your best to not, like, no matter how many people do the wrong thing in AIT, just keep in mind to do the right thing, because the sergeants do look into that and they do care. No matter how much they smoke you or they tell you that obviously you get smoked because of someone's mistake, one person can fuck it all for everybody. And I already had that experience when I was in. So just keep doing the right thing, because it's very easy for someone to just end up doing the wrong thing in the military, especially in AIT. There are good things and there are bad things about it. A lot of good things that I went through in AIT that I really appreciated. But there's also bad things, but I guess I'll touch base on that later on if you guys want to know what's going on with it. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully I answered some things in your head, like questions, whatever you had. But if you have any more questions that you want to ask me, you can leave it in the comment section down below. I read all my comments. On my previous video, I really want to apologize. Back then, when I was in AIT, I was wearing a snapback with my military uniform. Now, at the time, I did not know that it was wrong to do so. So, well, we were not allowed to, at the time, I wasn't allowed to wear my civilian clothes. So I thought it would be okay just to, still wear my military, but obviously it was wrong, so I apologize for that. So, yeah, anyways, comment, rate, subscribe if you ever did the video, share with your friends, give the video a like, check out my links down below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode I make. Until then,